action, adventure, fantasy movies.
Your mom knows a king?
I've always wanted to be a princess.
Laughter. Melodious carols. Music by the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra.
I have an idea.
It's really spicy.
And many more. Watch KBC Channel 1 this December for your best holiday entertainment.
Have a blessed festival season.
Contestant, are you landing? 1. Two.
Chantel on the right and Eve on the left. How will that make your wife feel? Huh?
Oh my God.
Oh yes, anything a man can do, a woman can do better.
Never Kinyanjui, eh? The last time you planned a birthday, we ended up eating sweets, drank over diluted juice, and sang happy birthday only. You are not planning this time.
Where Rudy class?
Yes.
I have some pickup lines I have to write for Sanjay.
Okay.
We link up, but
No problem. Hii kwenye mkulima tutatayarisha sausages za uyoga.
Hizi sausage ninatengeneza vegetarians, watu wenye wana choose kutokula nyama.
Kisha tuangalie mashine 2-3 ambazo urahisisha kazi ya mkulima.
Tractor ilianza kama project. Tulikuwa tunatafuta mbinu ya kupunguza utumizi wa wanyama ama kutumia binadamu kama chombo cha kulima shamba na kufanya kazi ya machinery kwa shamba.
So unataka niseme nini? Naona hata sina starehe kwa nyumba yangu. Zile pesa zimemwagwa huku.
Ni msimu ya kutoa. Gift yangu iko wapi?
Wewe ni wetu.
I thought you were bankrupt. Not for my woman, man.
Anaweza kuwa ametoa doa za kununua dinga. Lazima wewe ni mdingo. Laka si mdingo, ameshikana na Alex. Jen, umesema ulete? Jen! Mami sitaki kwenda. Wachawi hawaheshimu Christmas. Lazima angeharibu hii. Hi family.
Grandpa Chris, what's the name of your child?
Guys, food is almost ready.
So Malaika, how is school?
School is just school.
Oh.
Mom, why did you leave me? Do you hate me?
We'll be reunited. How could you do that? If there's anyone you should be mad at, that should be.
Huwa unaenda kazini utanijulisha sawa? Go take it up with Mama Paul.
Nilisema lunch.
Tuzungumzie mambo ya J&J.
Gasheri listened in on my conversation.
Yani Gasheri is the one who outbid us.
I can see you also in the Christmas mood.
We need to be thankful. Weka your feelings zako aside. I wish every day was Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come.
We'll be taking a journey through the Bible just to understand the many things that come to mind when we look at the birth of Jesus, where so many people want to celebrate Jesus, but very few people want to know Jesus. Jesus came not so that we can celebrate his birth, but of course we have to celebrate the entry because he's the Messiah. But the core objective of his coming is so that humanity can be reconciled back to God.
Joy to the world, and we sing. Let the earth receive a king.
This is Lunchtime News. Thank you so much for joining us here on Lunchtime News. Well, we have a comprehensive report and a news coverage right here on Lunchtime News. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Sign language interpreter is Lucy Maura. Now, to kick us off, the family of Sheikh Isabello, who has been missing for the last week, is now calling on security agencies to produce their kin. According to family members who were accompanied by a section of members of parliament from Garissa County, Sheikh Isa was abducted in Kilimani on Thursday last week and cannot be traced. Garissa Township Member of Parliament Dako Mohammed says the Sheikh's disappearance is the fourth abduction of his constituent.
Sheikh Isa was a religious educator, businessman, but also a hustler in real sense. His absence has concerned us as a family and members of the community at large. His sudden disappearance has prompted his family to issue an appeal to the security agencies of the government of Kenya to aid in this urgent search for his whereabouts. So we're here today to appeal to the government of Kenya to help us locate our brother who is now missing for a week.
Unfortunately, this is the fourth missing person from my constituency, and all these incidences have been reported to the relevant security agencies. Nothing has been forthcoming. I joined the family and members of the community in support and in solidarity so that the security agencies can take their role.
Every week you have a telephone press conference concerning the kind of disappearances. This kind of disappearances, in the first few months of the government, stopped. Then it started. We know some of them are criminal activities, some were involved by the government, some of them have been found, but still it is very painful for us to appear in press every day talking about false disappearances by people.
In other news, terror victims in Salama, Lamu County have received aid from the African Island Church to sustain them as they rebuild their lives. Now, 12 families lost their property in an attack that resulted in arson, and some are still afraid of returning to their farms. The victims, who disclosed that they were facing various hardships, received household items, accommodation, food, motorcycles and business goods.
Angalia kwamba baada watoto hao wakikaa manyumbani, baada ya kuona kwamba wenye kuwasimamia kimasomo wameuawa na wengine wamechomewa kila kitu ndani ya miaka 6 au 7, kwa kila familia, zaidi ya familia 40 ambazo ziliathirika, kila familia kukiwa na mtu ambaye hakusoma, itafikia kiwango ambacho wengi watahitaji kupata pesa. Tukaona ni vizuri tukaweze kufanya mpango wa kwamba tuwapatie pikipiki, itafanya boda na kupata 200 kila siku au 300 zitakazowapatia riziki ya chakula.
Hali ya maisha inaweza kupitia changamoto mingi kwa sababu hiyo eneo iliweza kupata madhara karibu baada ya kila mwezi. So ile hofu ilizidi kutanda, ambapo wengine wao ilibidi mpaka waanze kuhama katika miji yao.
Kilifi Senator Stuart Madzayo has dismissed claims of infighting within the Kilifi branch of the Orange Democratic Movement Party. The senator says ODM is busy setting out strategies to strengthen its popularity in the county through the registration of new members, flanked by party's Kilifi chairperson Teddy Mabire. The lawmaker says they have already registered more than 50,000 members and expect to register more than 150,000 members by February next year.
Tunataka kuambia wale wafuasi wetu wote ya kwamba wawe na imani na chama cha ODM na kwamba hatuna shida wala hakuna matatizo ndani ya chama, ndani ya Kilifi.
Still in Kilifi County, Kilifi Governor Gideon Mungaro is appealing to motorists and road users to exercise caution this festive season, emphasizing the importance of vigilance to prevent accidents. Speaking while lighting a Christmas tree at the county headquarters, he said Kilifi is among the counties experiencing the devastating effects of floods.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Msimu huu wa Krismasi mara nyingi kunakuwa na majanga kwa sababu watu wengine wanataka kunywa gari na kuendesha gari wakiwa wamelewa, ama wanataka kuendesha pikipiki ukiwa umekunywa mnazi ama bia. Tafadhali waendeshaji magari kweni waangalifu. Nataka tupate wananchi wote wa Kilifi na Kenya wakiwa salama tukiingia mwaka.
Herbalists are predicting that more Kenyans will continue to embrace traditional medicine in the search for curative solutions to various ailments. Harriet Chebet, the director of Harriet Botanicals, says the demand for traditional medicine is at an all-time high and indications are that it will continue to rise. Harriet says the company is producing 1,000 bottles of traditional medicine daily to meet the demand of the clientele.
We are now touching a wider market and our dawa is traveling further and the shelf life has to be longer. If this dawa is going all the way to Australia, it takes 10 days to get there. And in those conditions, we must make sure that the dawa is stable.
Now, in other news, in a potential relief for cassava farmers nationwide, a new improved variety of the crop developed through biotechnology to withstand diseases is now awaiting legal approval following the completion of a vigorous inspection process. Addressing farmers and stakeholders in Kakamega on genetically modified cassava, Dr. Douglas Miano explains that the enhanced cassava variety offers a solution to the challenges posed by diseases and climate change, enhancing food production in Kenya.
The brown streak disease is affecting 40 to 60 to 100%. Then that means we are losing something between 400 to 1 million metric tons to this disease. The importance of this project, therefore, is to come, was initiated to come and try and solve this problem and deliver to farmers varieties that are resistant to this disease.
At least 180 households that were recently affected by floods in Loglogo, Laisamis and Marsabit town in Marsabit County have received early Christmas presents in the form of food courtesy of the National Council of Churches of Kenya, Upper Eastern Region. Still in the spirit of Christmas, a woman in Koptongeno village in Belgut will cross into a new year in a brand new house courtesy of the National Government Affirmative Action Fund.
Speaking during the food distribution exercise at Loglogo, Bishop Daniel Kwampicha from the Anglican Church of Kenya, ACK Diocese of Marsabit, appealed to Kenyans to extend a helping hand to the needy and less fortunate in the society, especially during this festive season, to also enable them to take part in the Christmas celebrations just like the rest of Kenyans.
Tungependa kuomba jamii yetu wakati ambapo wanaanza kujenga manyumba ama wanaanza kushika makao, wajiepushe na kujenga mahali ambapo maji yanapita mvua inaponyesha.
Manyata yetu mechukua mzee mechukua tena nyumba yote, hakuna hata mali mechukua yote.
Kama kanisa wametuunganisha sisi kama union.
Elsewhere, it was an early Christmas gift to a needy woman, Caroline Misik, a resident of Kaptongeno village in Belgut, Kericho County, after she was officially handed over a house built by National Government Affirmative Action Fund. Kericho County MP Beatrice Kemei, who led the handing over of the project, said Caroline had suffered depression such that she threatened to take away her life before they intervened.
Tuko na watu wengi wako na mashida kama hii. We have so many vulnerable people in our societies. And this is especially women, widows, single mothers, and even those who are married. Some of them, their husbands have left them. An example is this lady, but I want to ask the husband to come back home.
Meanwhile, young children and girls rescued from FGM and early marriage at the One More Day Safe House in Laikipia North received an early Christmas from well-wishers, being gifted clothes, foodstuff and a fun-filled day. The celebration saw the children treated to sumptuous meals and will continue until Christmas Day on Monday, with a series of activities scheduled for them, including life skills lessons.
Hii ni wakati mwingine ambaye community ilikuwa inatoroka kwa sababu ya project kama hii ya kuokoa watoto kutoka kwa janga ya ukeketaji na kuozwa ndoa za mapema. Lakini leo kuanzia wazee wa kijiji, wa mama ndio wamepika.
Kasi Masha, Lunchtime News.
Now, a family in Kakamega is puzzled over the alleged suicide of the Akin in a police station in Lugari constituency. Roslyn Masinde, the mother to the deceased, Moses Wanaswa, says she had no idea the son had been arrested before the heartbreaking news of his death. The family is alleging foul play because they cannot locate the rope that was used in the alleged suicide.
Tunaumia kwa hii serikali. Polisi hawezi aenda ashike mtu kwa nyumba alafu ampeleke kwa cell, alale huko siku moja, ya pili atamehaka. Mtu hawezi haka kama angali tu mzima. Mtu hata chakula ya jioni amepata, ametumia na wenzake. Alafu baadaye tunasikia ati amehaka. Alihaka kwa njia gani? Watu wake wanakuja wanamuuliza, tuonyesheni bila alichinyonga, amtaki. Mnakuwa wakali. Paka hata saa hii mavazi zake zenye alihaka nasa tuchapata.
Alijinyonga saa 1:30 na amepelekwa tayari mochari bila mtu ukoo yoyote ama familia yake kuwa karibu. Hiyo jambo lilitushtua sana. Tukashangaa, tukabikwa na butwa. Kwani mtu akijinyonga, si wenye familia ndio wanachukua huyo mtu waende waone vile mahali penye alijinyongea, wafanye kitu yao, kama ni mila yao wafanye. Tafadhali mashirika ambayo inatetea mwananchi ikuje mtusaidie.
Tunataka tu mfuatilie kifo cha marehemu.
So kwa sababu siwezi kuingilia mambo ya uchunguzi, kwa sababu already investigation inaendelea, kwa sababu tumekuwa na experts kutoka hapa regional headquarters ambao wameenda kuchunguza hiyo kisa.
And now we cross over to Embakasi Garrison, where the reception of a Kenyan contingent deployed under East African Community Regional Force in Eastern DRC, whose tour of duty has come to an end, while the reception is being presided over by the Chief of Defense Forces, General Francis Ogola. Let's have a look. Well, we'll be following up on that story. That is the reception of Kenyan contingent deployed under East African Community Regional Force in Eastern DRC. We shall be bringing you more reports as we proceed. Now, moving on. Residents living in the disputed 44,000 acres Moya settlement scheme in Embu County have raised concern over an alleged issuance of title deeds on the disputed land. Speaking at a meeting held at Mbonzuke Market in Moya Ward. The residents, accompanied by a section of leaders, termed the exercise illegal as there were contentious issues that made the government suspend the exercise earlier.
The residents claim that there is a plot to displace them on a land that the government suspended the exercise owing to unsolved contentious issues.
Wanatafuta shamba ya kuuza na hakuna shamba ya kuuza hapa area hii ya scheme. Hiyo tumekataa na tumekataa.
Tumejenga mashule, tumejenga kanisa, tumejenga soko. Sasa watu wetu jameni wanaambiwa toke Mwea waende wapi? So tunaomba serikali ikuje kwa haraka itatue ishinda iko hapa.
The residents who have threatened to stage demonstrations after the festive season, however, want the local administration to come out clear on why the exercise was being carried out without the involvement of the affected people.
Tuende kwa registrar akutupatie title deed zetu kwa sababu tunataka pia title deed za shamba zetu. Sababu huwezi kukaa kwako nyumbani unasikia kuna title inapeanwa na wewe huna.
Please, tunakuomba tuiwie radhi. Ebu teremka huko chini uongee na sisi. Hao watu wanatupukusa, hatujui wanatupukusa tuende wapi.
Meanwhile, a section of leaders in Kiambu County led by Ruiru MP Simon Kingara has raised concern over an alleged project on an estimated 3,000-acre piece of land in Gikumari area of Ruiru. A contractor allegedly began opening up roads and resurveying the area last Sunday.
Hili ni jambo la kukera, lakini kama vile nilisema tusianze na fujo. Kwa sababu mimi kama Simon hakuna karatasi nimeona, hakuna mtu amekuja kuniambia, ni vile tu nimeona tingatinga zimekuja pale.
Mashamba ya watu wa Gikumari hakuna pahali wanaenda. Wataenda wapi? Na hii mashamba ni yao. Wako na title deeds.
The leaders called for calm and promising the locals to follow up on the matter with relevant authorities.
Now, Nakuru Tuktuk Association held an election of officials on December 20th, 2023 as leaders vowed to ensure sanity in the sector. The elections, which were held at the Menengai High School Hall, saw operators flock to the compound with one agenda: to have new leadership in place as per the association's constitution. The exercise that was presided over by officers from the County Social Services Department as well as administrators, so Joseph Ohome elected chairman and will be deputized by Nelson Njoroge.
A new office that's going to start and spearhead, to empower, to put order, to create security, to put sanity and representation of Tuktuk fraternity within Nakuru municipality. And actually, Tuktuk network does this every county.
Mimi kama mwenyekiti nimepanga nikiingia nitaleta ule uhusiano wetu na serikali ya county, serikali ya kitaifa haujakuwa mzuri sana. Ndio tunajaribu vile hii idara yetu ya Tuktuk itaweza kusimama.
Now, every week we highlight what is happening in the world of theatre. Now, let's have a look of this week's cinemas and theatres.
Our local cinema has seen a surge in creativity with narratives that not only entertain but also resonate with the diverse fabric of Kenyan culture. The year 2023 showcased our depth and breadth of our cinematic prowess.
Kibera si mahali pa kulelea kijana, jui Kibera navyoijua.
It is almost like a dream come true for a 17-year-old boy who is a talented footballer, but he is torn between the thrills of crime and the promises of soccer. Pepeta is a film based on the real-life story of Harun Rio Wathari, who hails from Kibera. The 8-part series captures the dreams and realities of the youth in Kibera, a place considered the hotbed of football talent.
Unaona mkacheza vile umecheza leo sato hivyo.
Kama ntona big tutachezaje bila Gwanda?
Pepeta follows 3 intertwining stories. Junior is a 17-year-old talented footballer torn between the thrills of crime and the promises of soccer.
These children are out of control.
Kefa is an unforgiving cop with a personal vendetta determined to rid the streets of criminals. And Biki, an ambitious football coach determined to get Junior and his friends scouted before the barrel of the gun cuts short their dreams.
I got my cast through audition, so it was interesting seeing some of them were, actually the majority of them are new faces to the screen. The workshop really helped them.
One thing I had to go to read newspapers, get to see how the whole thing goes around, and watch around how people behave, how cops behave, how thugs behave, and then after that, as an actor, I have to find myself, I have to listen to myself and get to understand what does it entail to play Kefa and to bring out Kefa, of course, with the help of the director.
Produced by CJ3 Entertainment and directed by Vincent Mbaya, Pepeta builds on the success of other Showmax originals in Kenya, like the political thriller series County 49, the thriller series Igiza, the police procedural and legal drama Crime and Justice, and the coming-of-age film Baba Twins.
Our industry is working and it's going, so I urge all filmmakers out there, let us join together, work together, and improve our industry and head forward.
Hizi boots kishi na bunduki, unakufa na bunduki.
In the corridors of theatre, we saw I Will Marry When I Want, a play that is almost 50 years by renowned playwright Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o, winning huge in the 2023 Kenya Theatre Awards.
I Will Marry When I Want, Gahika Deda.
The Kikuyu version of the play Gahika Deda took home the Best Kikuyu to Production Vernacular Shows Award.
May theatre live on and become stronger every year. Thank you very much.
Its return to the Kenyan National Theatre, essentially hosted by the government's Cultural Centre, is evidence of how far Kenya's creative scene has come in freely expressing itself.
My first professional show was actually right here, Luanda Man of Stone. It's been a long journey, 20 years. I can say this with relative certainty that there is no award that means more to an artist than the award handed to him by his peers.
The theatre industry in Kenya is currently experiencing a major resurgence, which has been fueled by the recent focus on theatre and the establishment of the platforms to honor the craft.
I have a slot in the musical. Would you be interested?
Yes. Can I go?
The incorporation of students in film productions clearly features in the 2023 highlights. It focuses on students telling their own stories, emphasizing the need to prepare them early for the film industry.
Our first story, and everyone is talking about this, is the upcoming musical
play to be held in our school.
I'm a super girl, yeah, you know that I'm a winner, yeah. Champion girl, kila kitu nitashinda, yeah. I know I can do.
Born to Shine, a film by Maya Entertainment and Greenview School's Kamulu, is a colorful and hopeful musical about two girls from different backgrounds who compete for a coveted lead musical role. A musical play is introduced on the first day of school and everyone can't wait to participate.
Mama, what is it, Bella?
Bella, talented, confident and popular, is expected to bag the lead role. But Anna, smart and funny, convinces her best friend Sheila to audition for the same role in order to gain respect from her oppressor, Bella. The movie evokes feelings of friendship, family and betrayal.
My sweet babe.
There are some of the things, if you are able to be, you are taught or say you are socialized as early as you are young. Now it becomes very easy for you because you grow with it. Then by the time you become of age, you will have had so many ideas, you will have the experience, the expertise, unlike when you learn those skills when you are way too old.
I'm a super girl, yeah, you know that I'm a winner, yeah. Champion girl, kila kitu nitashinda, yeah. I know I can do what I wanna do. I know I can do.
Jacqueline Masharia for Cinemas and Theatre.
Well, that report by Jacqueline Masharia brings us to our first break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
The lives of two young girls.
My star sign is lucky. Something good will happen.
Yani mom na dad wana fight na wewe kazi yako ni zodiac signs.
Raised by secrets.
There's a lot going on at the moment in this house.
It's either Baluto to make pesa or else.
Is about to be changed forever. When their true identity is uncovered.
That girl is not his daughter. Nadia test will prove me right.
I'm really concerned. If they treat her like an outcast, she'll definitely go back to their family.
In the brand new unmissable Zari starts 23 October only on Maisha Magic Plus, channel 163 on DSTV Access, GoTV Plus, channel 3.
Shamra za Krismasi zikipiga hodi, nasi hapa Shoro FM hatuachwi nyuma. Stesheni yako ipendayo imekuandalia tafrija ya hali ya juu. Ukipenda Shoro Mogili Night itakayofanyika Jamii Executive Gardens Mwea tarehe 22 Disemba. Kajay Salim, Salim Young, na wasanii wengine watakuwa live on stage. Jiunge nasi tukiadhimisha miaka 23 ya utangazaji bora na utangamani na watangazaji wa Shoro FM wakikuletea vipindi live kutoka Mwea. Vinywaji na vyakula ni kwa wingi. Sherehe itapigwa hadi che. Usikose.
You weren't going to be here, Ed?
No way, that would be insane. Of course I'm not going to miss such an important event in your life, my dear.
I know that woman is to be blamed. She's the reason why my son killed himself.
Rodrigo, you're not going to marry Lucia.
I already told you that I will marry your sister.
Because I don't want Rodrigo to marry Lucia.
She's getting married and you're not going to stop it.
She won't stop bothering me until I break up with Lucia, and the way that woman is acting now, I love Lucia and we're getting married
Then if
tomorrow.
you love her, don't put your relationship in jeopardy. And you better leave my daughter alone.
Pindi tunapowasha vifaa vyetu, tunapata fursa ya kutangamana na wasikilizaji wetu.
Karibu sana thĩinĩ wa tabarĩra ya Ruiga.
Tunapeperusha utangazaji uliobobea katika habari,
Nĩ ũndũ wa macio na mangĩ maingĩ,
burudani,
Aha nĩ harĩa tũkoragwo tũkĩigua nyĩmbo mwaki nyĩmbo hot
na hamasisho la kiroho. Usiachwe nyuma. Jiunge nasi kwa safari ya kufana katika 99.5 FM. Shoro FM.
Welcome back. Now, later on, we shall be having an interview segment where we shall be discussing co-working spaces with Faith Nyongesa, who's already here in the studio. And for now, we shall be taking a look at matters of business. And to kick us off, the government will create a special purpose committee meant to spearhead the actualization of the Kenyan Coast Riviera. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua says the national government will provide funding to help upgrade infrastructure development in major tourism attraction sites at the coast.
The government is banking on the Kenyan Riviera concept to deepen tourism at the Kenyan coast. The move is set to boost the country's tourism sector by mapping out key tourist sites and developing new products. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua says the government will fund the upgrading of beach areas and the erection of public amenities like malls and search and rescue centers.
Tunataka kufanya infrastructure development. Serikali kuu itatoa pesa, tukishirikiana na magavana, tujenge infrastructure. Tuweke mataa kule Malindi. Waitaliano warudi na pesa zao na Wajerumani waje na pesa zao kule Watamu. Tujenge ile Heritage Cultural Center tukishirikiana na kule upande wa Kwale. Tuangalie hapa Mombasa vile tutajenga barabara na mataa kila mahali. Tuangalie upande wa Lamu shipping area, docking area ya hizi cruise ship. Ikifika kuna mahali watalii wanatoka wanafanya kazi. Kwa hiyo nataka kushirikiana tufanye kazi pamoja ndio tuweze kuinua utalii kwa njia ambayo inafaa.
Mutua says to boost security and ensure beaches are clean and friendly, beach operators will be assigned special zones with good security and proper lighting systems to allow businesses to operate at night.
Fanya hivyo lazima tulete standards za utalii. Tunataka beach zetu ziwe na choo. Tunataka beach zetu ziwe na commercial enterprises, malls za watu kufanya kazi. Tunataka pia kuwa na lifeguards kwa beach zetu. Nataka pia beach boys tuwapangie mahali pao pa kufanya kazi wasiwasumbue watu wakija.
The tourism CS spoke during a meeting with governors from the coastal region where he affirmed the government's commitment to enhance collaboration between counties and the national government to boost tourism in the country. Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
Tatu City has strengthened its workforce with over 100 key appointments in 2023 as businesses and homeowners from Kenya and around the world flock to join its growing ecosystem. In line with its commitment to fostering sustainable economic growth, the positively impacting the local community, Tatu City is investing in NITA certified Tatu City Training Academy. The academy provides free training to local youth, empowering them with industry relevant skills and bridging the gap between education and employment. Tatu City is now home to over 78 businesses, providing employment opportunities to 15,000 workers with thousands more jobs to follow in 2024. And now, as promised earlier, we're joined by Faith Nyongesa, who is from Wojo, Africa, and is the growth lead at the institution. Welcome, Faith.
Thank you very much.
All right, then. Now, Wojo is a key example of co-working spaces that are revolutionizing the way businesses operate. Perhaps to kick us off, how has Wojo, Africa adapted to the changing work trends post-pandemic, and what roles does it play in revolutionizing the way business operates?
Okay, so first of all, we have to acknowledge that post-pandemic, there has been a revolution and a change in work trends, and thus the rise of co-working spaces. So for those who might not know what a co-working space is, it's basically, or simply put, as serviced offices. So what a co-working space does is we provide serviced offices and workstations with shared amenities. So basically we provide a plug-and-play kind of solution to clients who come in with just their laptops, and we provide everything. By everything I mean the internet, 24/7 access, security, printing, bottomless coffee, tea, water, anything that you need in an office without the organization or the company taking up the space, having to endure the office maintenance.
All right then. Now, as the growth lead at Wambiru Africa, maybe can you share some specific examples of how co-working spaces contribute to cost savings, flexibility, as well as a conducive work environment for businesses?
Absolutely. So the first and main advantage of a co-working space is creating convenience. So as I just mentioned earlier, it's a plug-and-play solution. So basically, we provide everything for any organization, be it a startup, a corporate, or any other business. We provide everything, and what they do is just they come with their laptops and start their work. So also another convenience of co-working spaces is that we remove the setup cost for the client, and then just to go back to my first point, to make it a plug-and-play solution. So an organization does not need the setup costs, trying to worry where to get space and fit out and all that. So they just come to a co-working space and everything is provided for them. And then also we help with flexibility in terms of lease terms. So again, post-pandemic, of course, the pandemic taught us a lot of things. And during the pandemic, a lot of organizations got caught up in long-term leases that they could not cancel. So hence why after the pandemic, there has been a blow-up in co-working spaces. So it's very flexible. You can take up space for a day, for a week, for a month, for an hour. So yeah, flexibility.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Now, how does the co-working model, for instance, in startups, contribute to the growth of businesses, especially as a startup?
So when a business is starting up, they have a lot to worry about. So marketing, there's sales and everything. So what we do as a co-working space is to provide them the environment, the space, to just remove the worry of where they'll be sitting and where they'll be doing their business, for them to concentrate on other, maybe better money-making services of their business.
Mm-hmm. So you just mentioned that one of the advantages of co-working spaces is eliminating the need for high upfront costs.
Exactly.
And long-term leases. Now, how does this benefit businesses, especially startups, and especially when it comes to allocating resources more efficiently, since you're taking in more clients? Yeah, how do you ensure that the clients are adequately allocated resources?
So we have different packages, and with these packages come with different resources. Let's say, for instance, maybe printing, which is very basic, but most organizations or most businesses need. So for every package, let's say you're taking up 2 desks, you get a number of printing and a number of meeting room hours. So it's very adequate for, so we've done, of course, a research just to be able to allocate efficiently these resources, because most of those resources are shared.
All right.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, do you think most businesses should take on this approach where they don't have to worry about these costs when they want to start up a business, especially the youth when they want to start up various businesses? Perhaps, what is your take on that?
Absolutely. It's the most convenient way, because just imagine, you don't have to worry about setting up an office from scratch. You don't have to worry about hiring a receptionist, because we take care of that. You don't have to worry about basic maintenance, just as simple as cleaning, coffee, tea, water, which might take up a lot of time. So instead of focusing that time on managing the office and all that, we manage for you, and then you use that time to focus on your business. So absolutely, startups, remote workers, corporates should definitely take up co-working spaces.
What are some of the challenges that you experience in this business of co-working spaces?
The challenges are not so many. Of course, with a co-working space, you bring a lot of people or a lot of different industries together. So one thing I like to say is, in addition to like different industries, you bring in different people with different personalities. So aside from that, there's not many challenges.
All right.
Yeah.
So perhaps you say that there are not many challenges, so it means there's so many success stories.
Absolutely.
could you share some examples of success stories who've taken up and examples of partnerships and innovations that have emerged from these interactions, perhaps of collaboration while still at the co-working spaces?
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of businesses growing from 1 desk to 5 desks to 12 desks. So, and that's another advantage of a co-working space because it supports growth, scaling up, scaling down, and all that. And then another success that is my favorite is because we bring together a lot of industries, we create that network and we enable a lot of networking, and we've seen cases of people working together. Let's say you're sitting next to a lawyer, you're sitting next to an advertising agency. You don't have to go out there and look for all those services. They're all there. Yeah.
All right, then now, how does your company plan to address the evolving business structures and the changing face of the workplace in the country?
Okay, so first of all, something unique about Wojo is that we are the first co-working space in Kenya within a hotel. So we have a hotel, the Makio Hotel, which is the former Crown Plaza. So in addition to the office facilities, which are the basic facilities that I've already mentioned, our clients get access to hotel amenities and living spaces, just simple as hotel rooms, gym, spa, all that under one roof. So that is one thing that Wojo is out there to address, and so far so good. We are getting like a really good response on that.
Do you have any closing remarks, perhaps something you'd like to add?
Absolutely. So yeah, again, just to reiterate on what I've already said, co-working spaces and the revolution of serviced offices in the country is such a positive change, and the growth of brands such as Wojo is such a positive impact on the economy and growth of businesses. So we welcome remote workers, startups, corporates, everyone, basically anyone who needs an office. We've seen guys coming in from multinationals, parastatals, remote workers, everyone.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, that is Faith Nyongesa, who is the growth lead at Wojo Africa. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. We've learned a lot, quite an insightful interview. Now we move on to other news, where the government has employed various strategies at easing the cost of living in the country. This includes stabilizing the Kenyan shilling, distributing subsidized fertilizer, and investing in social safety net programs. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi says the ongoing rains will further ease the prices of basic goods like maize and wheat flour, vegetables, and cooking oil. The Prime Cabinet Secretary spoke exclusively to Channel 1 News.
The last 2 years have been very tough for many Kenyans. The lingering effects of COVID-19 and the locust invasion have conspired to ensure the cost of goods and services remains stubbornly high. The situation has been compounded by sky-high fuel prices that have appreciated by more than 35% in the last 24 hours. This has caused a major public outcry, with the opposition seizing the crisis to stage public demonstrations. However, a combination of state interventions and the ongoing rains have relieved Kenyans from the pain of expensive commodities. As a result, the annual inflation rate in the country continues to drop, easing to 6.8% in November from 6.9% in October of 2023. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi says the cost of living will continue to drop going forward as most farmers embark on their December and January harvest.
Bei ya unga wakati tulikuwa na ukame ilipanda sana, sivyo? Lakini sasa kusema ukweli, bei ya unga imepunguka kidogo. Hiyo ni kama indicator moja. Okay? Tunaangalia indicators tofauti.
Speaking exclusively to Channel 1, Mudavadi has also defended the state borrowing program with the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, saying the lending terms of the two institutions offer more favorable terms.
Sasa ikiwa tunapata mkopo wa IMF ama World Bank, ni ule unaitwa concessionary loan. ama concessionary assistance. Yani unapata na riba ni kama 1%.
Ni kama hata haina riba.
Karibu 1% ama 2%. Alafu unapewa miaka hata kama 30 kulipa.
Giverson Minor, Lunchtime News.
Coffee farmers have reported a surge in demand of direct buyers at their warehouses. New Kenya Planters Cooperative Union Managing Director Timothy Merugi is urging coffee cooperative societies to seek services of armed police officers to safeguard their coffee from theft, which has been on the rise in the recent past. Merugi says the national government is currently working on increasing the coffee cherry advance revolving fund from the current 20 shillings to up to rather 80 shillings per kilo for the benefit of coffee farmers countrywide.
There has been a surge upwards in terms of what we are handling from milling. As you are aware now, New KPC is the biggest miller or the dominant miller in the country, commanding about 43% of all the coffees in the country. And we are also working together with other unions because we don't want to create a competition. We want to work together to better this industry, to better this subsector, and to increase production. And we are expecting that this trajectory will still continue going up. The prices are also getting better and better, which confirms that the coffee reforms which are being spearheaded by His Excellency the Deputy President are actually bearing fruit.
At the beginning of the year, all cooperatives and where stores are need to be manned by armed police to thwart any attempt by people with malicious intentions to grab what they never sowed.
Moving on, power generators risk hefty fines by the Kenya Electricity Transmission Commission Limited for idle power lines in a bid to minimize the farm losses. Energy Cabinet Secretary Davis Churchill says most of the power lines are constructed through commercial loans and lethargy among off-takers, and power generators in using the lines has seen Ketraco incur huge operational costs.
Where when we've built a line and they don't deliver their line on time, if the line needs to earn revenue, we should be able to charge the other person for failing to complete the end of the circuit. Because if you build and finish Kimuka and the outfeeders out of Kimuka are not working, then it serves no purpose to have built that line. Because if you are repaying a loan, if it was not a government loan and it was a bank loan, and you have to repay that line from the revenue that it generates, how will you pay for that line when it is not working?
Social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, suffered global outages for just over 1 hour on Thursday, according to downdetector.com, which tracks outages by collating status reports. More than 47,000 US users faced access issues with X and X Pro. Details of these and more news from around the globe.
Some users in the UK and Asia were also unable to view posts on the site with a message that said, "Welcome to X." The hashtag Twitter down started trending within minutes of reports of the outages emerging. But the outages were short-lived, with users able to access the platform again after just over an hour. Since Musk bought the platform, it has been suffering from a loss of advertising revenue. He has also been accused of allowing anti-Semitic posts next to advertising. Meanwhile, Japan is set to propose an annual budget that keeps spending at historically high levels after factoring out the impacts of reduced pandemic-related outlays. The initial budget for the fiscal year beginning in April would be 112 trillion yuan compared with the record 114.4 trillion yuan for the current year. Japan's general government debt has soared to a size equivalent to 255% of its economy. Reflecting the increasing burden, debt servicing costs will rise to 27 trillion yuan. The budget includes a 13% increase in defense spending to 7.7 trillion yuan. The amount will increase to that 7.7 trillion yuan, mainly due to unnatural increases from an increasingly aging society. Despite the mountain of debt, Treasury officials maintain that they will continue to aim for a balanced budget by fiscal year 2025, excluding debt servicing costs. Finally, Toyota Motor said on Wednesday it would recall 1.12 million vehicles worldwide because a short circuit in a sensor could cause airbags not to deploy as designed. The recall covers the 2020 through 2022 model year and could result in the occupant classification system sensors not working. This includes 1 million vehicles in the United States alone. The new sensors were prompted because older airbags deployed the same way for all drivers and passengers, causing some injuries, in rare cases even death, for those who were too close to the airbag as it deployed. For Lunchtime News, I'm Kaimenyi Brian.
Now, the Bird Island, Takari Island, and the Tomboya Mausoleum are some of the attraction sites both domestic and international tourists are to enjoy at the Rusinga Island. Opens its doors for the annual festival. The festival is a calendar event that targets to, among others, preserve the culture and tradition of the Abasuba tribe. Regina Manyara is in Rusinga Island and brings the following report.
Thank you very much, Wambiru. As you can see, we are enjoying a boat ride, and you can be sure it's not the Titanic of 1912. We're talking about the Rusinga Festival. This is an annual festival that takes place every year, and it is meant at preserving the culture and traditions of the Abasuba. What we're doing is a boat ride, and this is what both domestic and international tourists who are going to be making their way to the Rusinga Island are going to be enjoying. In day one, we'll have various activities, including visiting the bird sanctuary. We are made to understand that birds from all over the world, actually as from as far as Europe, from those islands that you can see, come to the bird sanctuary here in Rusinga. They breed, then take a holiday all the way to South Africa, then come back and, pick their young ones and fly off to wherever it is that they came from. That's the uniqueness of the ecosystem around the Rusinga Island. Also, we're going to be visiting the Mfangano Island, as well as just viewing and seeing some of the artifacts and cultural artifacts that the Abasuba hold dear to them. But before we talk about why the Rusinga Festival is actually very important for our tourism at a time when the country is focusing on increasing, the dollar liquidity, or rather frequency within the country, and the tourism industry is a direct foreign income exchange earner. I'm going to be joined by one of we are calling him a coxswain today, who is taking us through this particular tour. He can give us a brief of why Rusinga Island Festival is a place to be. Hello, how are you? Tell us your name, tell us what you do and what you think about, the Rusinga Island Festival.
Yes, my name is Samba Julius. I'm from Mbita, Rusinga Island.
Tell us more about the Rusinga Festival. How many people have already arrived? How does it look like when it comes to a tourism product?
Rusinga Island, Rusinga Festival is one of the cultural. We usually do it annually. That is from 21st to 23rd every year. That is in December. We are expecting a lot of visitors, especially on day 2. This is day 1, and we are going to have a few visitors as the numbers are concerned. I'm not usually sure of the total numbers we are expecting, but usually on day 1, we expect few members to attend.
So as a festival, as you host a festival every year, what impact does this festival have on business in general? Not just, the transportation, not like we in the boat, but how does the island itself respond to this festival in terms of business?
In terms of business, we usually have a lot of visitors from various places, various counties, and we expect a lot of expectations from them. One of the expectations is tourism attractions. You know, most people have never come to Rusinga to view a lot of things that has been happening. So we are expecting a lot of expectation, a lot of visitors, a lot of goodies. You can name them.
A lot of goodies. Now, this particular festival is also geared as preserving, you know, the Suba or the Abasuba culture. Would want to know, are you from the Suba community? And what is so unique about the Suba culture in itself?
I'm very sorry I'm not from the Suba community, but I'm from the Rusinga Island. Yes, I come from Siaya, though I've been staying here for a lot of years.
So you've come all the way from Siaya to make a living here in Rusinga. Exactly. So what have you enjoyed most about, you know, living among the Abasuba who are predominantly, you know, placed in this place? We understand history. They came all the way from Uganda. They found a home in the Rusinga Islands.
Rusinga Island, as far as I know, one of the expectations is that the Rusinga Island people are very friendly. They like visitors from all the places. They are welcoming. Rusinga Island is a very good place to stay in. There's a lot of security. There's a lot of food. So many things.
So what is your staple food? Where I come from Meru, but I'm here in Rusinga. And for us, we pride ourselves in saying, Goto gotempara, kwetu hakuna njaa. So looking at, you know, within this Rusinga Island, what do you say is the staple food? And also the main economic mainstay for the people within Rusinga Island?
The main economic activity is fishing. That is, most people depend on fishing. That is going to the lake for their daily services. That is where we get fish. That is where we get food. That is where we get our daily bread and everything we depend on.
So you can say food, the main dish here is fish.
The main dish is fish.
Okay.
It's fish and ugali. That is the main fish. That is our main dish.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, tomorrow we're going to be having a series of activities, including boat racing. Are you going to be participating in the boat race?
In fact, I'm one of the referees in boat racing. We shall be starting at Luore. Luore is one of the islands just next to Rusinga Island. We are expecting a lot of boats, both women and men. It's not the engine type, it's the coxswain. That is, we are using paddles. That is the one that we used to have traditionally. Yeah, so we are just using paddlers and nothing else.
So how long is the distance, you know, from one island to the other?
From one shore to the last point is about 500 meters off the shore.
So what do the winners get? If I wanted to participate in this, what do I require? And at the end of the day, what do the winners get to take home?
The winner, in the long run, the winner takes it all, and the winners will be provided with life jackets. The winner will be provided with T-shirts and a lot of money.
A
Yes.
lot of money.
Yes.
Well, Wambiru, you've heard it. Just in case you're wondering why we are all smiles, is that this is an open festival. It also attracts domestic tourists. And for the first time, I have heard that women are going to be participating in this particular boat race. And they're doing it the traditional way. It's not going to be motorized like what we are actually using to cross over to the islands where we are participating in these excursions for day one, but they are going to be using the traditional method, that is paddling. This particular boat race is going to include women as well as the men. And as our guest has said, is that it's going to attract international and domestic tourists, as well as, you know, ensure matters of safety. Some of the winners are going to take home some safety equipment, including life jackets like this one, as the island looks at improving, you know, its attraction sites to attract more domestic tourists as well as international tourists. An annual event that takes place every Thursday to the last Thursday of every year before Christmas. So if you're thinking of, you know, for your Christmas travel, well, you might as well consider Rusinga probably next year and participate in one of these activities, including the boat race. Now back to you, Wambiru, as we continue to enjoy what Rusinga Island has to offer for both international and local tourists. Back to you, Wambiru.
Well, thank you so much, Regina Manyaro there from Rusinga Island, where the annual Rusinga Island Festival is underway. We shall be keeping you updated. For now, we take a look at matters sports. Liverpool advanced to the Carabao Cup semi-finals with a dominant 5-1 win over West Ham at Anfield. The Reds will take on Fulham in the last four.
For Benrahma, one back. It's an absolutely stunning strike. Dominic
Szoboszlai opened the scoring for Liverpool in the 20th minute before Curtis Jones added a second 11 minutes after the restart. Cody Gakpo was given too much space to fire home his 8th goal of the season's 19 minutes from time. Then Mohamed Salah made it 4 when he raced clear of the visitors' defence and finished before Jones finished off an excellent run by adding his second.
Trying to join him. Oh, it's a great effort. Super goal.
It was the first time Liverpool have scored 5 at home against the Hammers since 1998 and keeps them on course for a record-extending 10th triumph in the competition they last won at 2022. They will face Fulham in the semi-finals, with the first leg in the week beginning 8th January and the second leg 2 weeks later.
Looking for another. We've got another. Sublime from Curtis Jones. What an outstanding run.
Captain Sergi Roberto scored twice as Barcelona beat relegation-threatened Almeria 3-2 to claim 3 valuable points in the La Liga title race. Elsewhere, Villarreal beat Celta Vigo 3-2 as Las Palmas lost 1-0 to Athletic Bilbao.
Goals from Rafinha and Roberto put the hosts ahead, only for the plucky Almeria side to level through Leo Baptistao and Edgar Gonzalez. However, Roberto's late effort in the 83rd minute ended their 3-game winless run. The result saw Barcelona move to third and 6 points behind league leaders Girona. Elsewhere, 3 early goals from Alfonso, Mendy and Parejo were enough to earn Villarreal a 3-2 victory over an industrious Celta Vigo, who got their goals in the 52nd and 57th minute. Finally, Unai Gomez's stoppage time goal saw Athletic Bilbao register a 1-0 victory over Las Palmas. Tonight, Real Madrid face Alaves while Girona take on Real Betis.
Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you so much for choosing Lunchtime News. For more news, check out our website at kbc.co.ke. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Lucy Moore. Happy holidays.